everybody, Amber here with the Peoria Public Library again with another quick and easy craft to do. Quite honestly, it took me less time to do the sewing on it than to do the rest of the project. I made probably half a dozen of these in a couple of hours. It was a lot of fun, and it was a great adventure learning something new myself. And what I'm going to show you how to make today is rice-filled heating packs. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? Rice-filled heating packs are great for you for when maybe your neck is hurting or your back is hurting, your legs, you've got a cramp, something like that, and you want a good heat source for it. Rice heat packs are great because you can reuse them. You don't have to plug them in. You throw them in the microwave for a few minutes, you bring them out, you put them on the achy area, and because it's rice, it kind of shifts around, it kind of molds to your body. So it's really versatile way to heat a sore spot on your body. So what you need is you need a half yard of fabric, and I have some right here. This is a little bit more than half a yard. This is just a piece of fabric I found in my collection. It's corduroy bear, one of my sister's favorite characters when she was a kid. I use half yard with the fabric, so it's got the fold in it. If you're going to buy fabric, tell them you want a half yard and they will cut it to 18 inches. But this one, if I were going to make a rice heating pack out of it, I would have to cut it off because this is actually a little bit more than half a yard. You can make them a little bigger. You're just going to need more rice to fill it, and this already does take a lot of rice, so proceed with caution. So what you want to do is, after you've cut your half yard of fabric to size, if you've got a bigger piece or you're using some leftovers and you got to cut it down, another pattern I saw actually recommended using back quarters, which is where they take a yard of fabric and cut it lengthwise and widthwise to give you 4 pieces that are a quarter of a yard, and you can layer those up. I don't want to try and keep those from shifting, which is why I just use half a yard of fabric, and then I don't have to worry about whether or not I got right sides facing out. So what you want to do is you want to get your fabric, and please make sure that you don't get a fabric that is like this one, sparkly. I have a lot of sparkly fabric in my collection because, let's face it, I like sparkles, I like shiny. But you don't want to pick a fabric like this because you're going to put this in the microwave. Microwaves don't like metal, and you don't want to have to buy a new microwave right now. Bad idea. So make sure that your fabric is good, safe fabric that you can put in the microwave. I'm just using quilting cotton, but you can also use flannel. I've made a couple of these out of flannel, and it worked just fine. So what you want to do is, after you have your 18 inches of fabric, you want to fold it in half so that all the selvage is at the bottom, and go ahead and cut that selvage off. You don't need it. You don't want to sew over it. Just cut it off. Line it up with a ruler, or mark it with your pencil and cut it. Just cut it off. You don't need it. So when you've done that, you've got your fabric, you fold it in half like this, and you're going to want to pin it in place. So I've got this piece here. This was my selvage edge. This is my folded edge of the fabric. And notice I'm only going around 3 sides. I don't need to go over this side. This side is all one piece. I don't need to do anything with it. I like to start from the folded edge, and what you're going to do is you're going to sew a generous 1/4 inch all the way around, turning in the corners. The reason I like to use a generous 1/4 inch is because my fabric, no matter what I do, tends to shift a little bit, so I want to give it a little more room in case I get a little on the edge. Once you get to the 3rd side, or the top side of it, what you want to do is you want to sew about 1/3 of the way across and do a couple back stitches, and then pick up a few inches later and do a couple back stitches and sew all the way to the edge like so. We'll show you on this particular one. As you can see, I stopped and left this opening right here. This is so, 1, I can turn it, and 2, I can put the rice in. So what you want to do is once you have this all sewn, go ahead and clip the corners out like we did with the envelope cushion cover a few videos back. Go ahead and clip those corners. That's so that when we turn it inside out, we can push those corners out really nicely. And we have not a lot of bulk in the corner. If we're going to put bulk in, it's going to be rice. Then I have just a standard kitchen funnel. Mom's probably not going to be happy that I borrowed this, but I don't think we've used a funnel for a while. I know we haven't used rice. So you want to stick your funnel into the opening of the bag, and then quite frankly I started out with a huge bag of rice. This was a 20-pound bag of rice. I have a little scoop, and I was just scooping the rice into my tube here. Once you've filled it, I would say fill it just about halfway. The first one I made, I bought a 5-pound bag of rice and I put the whole thing in, and it was just about halfway full. This one is a flannel that I used, and I've got it just about, and I fold it over in half, I've got it just about half full. When you get to that point, you can add some essential oils if you want to these to give it a little bit of good scent. But be careful with it. If you've never used essential oils before, like I hadn't before doing these, you don't want to use a lot. A little goes a long way with these. The first one I made, I put in a few drops of lavender. I think I actually put in a lot of the lavender, and my mom says it's a little overwhelming. We're hoping it fades in time. But put a few drops in on top of your rice, give it a little shake so that it kind of distributes down into it. And when you're finished putting your rice and you put your essential oils in, don't worry, you don't have to put essential oils in. They can be pricey, and if you don't have them just sitting around your home, don't worry about it. Take your bag back to your machine, making sure all the rice is in the bottom end, and give a good stitch all the way across to seal it up. If you want, you can just stitch from across the opening. I like to sew all the way across to give it a uniform look. Making sure to catch all your layers that you've got turned in here, and you end up with a nice filled heat pack with some good weight to it. Put it over your shoulder. I took this to my microwave and heated it up for 2 minutes, gave it a good feel, shifted it around a little bit, put it back in for another minute or so to make sure that all the rice got warmed, and it was really, really comfortable sitting against my back while I was crocheting. So, like I said, it was faster to get the sewing done. It took me maybe 2 minutes to do the sewing around the edge, flipping it inside out. It took me, the first time, 20 minutes to fill the bag with rice. I'm a little bit faster now, but take your time, because rice spills are no joke. They're a lot of mess to clean up. But take your time, fill it up. Fill it as full as you want. Just remember, you have to be able to stitch it closed. I would not recommend more than 5 pounds, because you still got to carry this around, and if you're hurting, you don't want to hurt yourself more. And a reminder, stay away from any sparkly fabric that you might have in your collection or you may be tempted to buy. Sparkly fabric in the microwave, bad idea. Bad idea. There's a reason we don't put metal in the microwave, and explosions are one of them. So avoid that, but pick out a fun fabric. Like you saw, I've got Star Trek fabric, I got dinosaurs, I got corduroy, I've got some fun prints. Have fun with it. Whether you choose flannel or a good quilting cotton, you're going to be all set. I hope you enjoy this, and we hope to see you in the library when we can safely reopen. Thanks. Bye. That's where I start. I just pin it, second time today. I just pin it all the way around, 3 sides. Obviously, your main fold here doesn't need to be pinned because we're not sewing there. And you just take your sewing machine. I would go with a generous 1/4 inch on it, just to give you a little room. If, like me, your fabric, no matter how much you pin it down, tends to shift. But give it go around until you, 3 until you get to the top row.